can we talk just more about your experience just with me and the process and what it was like? Are you okay with me asking?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So, where do you? What was one of the reasons why you wanted to connect and start the actual coaching process, the transformational coaching process? What about it for you was calling or pulling you?
I think because I felt so lost at the time of where I was, and not necessarily knowing what direction I wanted to go in. I think I thought I knew which direction I wanted to go in, but I didn't feel like the direction I was going in was the right direction that I wanted to be going in.
Mm,
But again, it was just like there was something in me that finally realized that.
mm,
And you helped me realize that, I think. So it was like what I was doing was what I thought I should be doing, because again, that's what society was selling to me. That's what my conditioning was saying. Well, if you're going to do this, then you should probably do this and this. And I see that all now. And again, it's all that information that was pulled in. And now I can't say that that's not how I found you, because it is, but
mhm,
there was a different sense of like, there was a different sense of a pull in that
mm,
aspect when I connected with you, because I felt like I was like, wow, this just all makes a whole lot of sense. And nothing seemed to be making sense up until that point, almost,
yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. What do you think changed the most as we went through this? Can you tell me more about what you saw shifted and changed for you? Whether it's, yeah, can you just tell me more about that?
Honestly, I think it's just the deeper sense of who I am,
Mm,
and really just being okay with that. And honestly, I think just as much as I would have said I was okay with being on my own before, and I was, there's more peace and more happiness around that. It's not like a negative thing anymore. It's not like, oh, well, you're the single one over here now. It's like, oh, yes, I am the single one and I'm perfectly happy and perfectly fine. Like, you know
yeah.
what I mean? It's just like I feel more at peace, and I'm not willing to give that piece away either. So it's like I have settled for so long that I'm not willing to even do that anymore.
Yeah.
So to be in that space and feel that power again is awesome, because I don't know if I had that. Well, I know I didn't. I didn't. The old me before getting married, and, or, I mean, I don't know when I started to give my power away, but whenever that was, it's like having that back, it's not just going to be given away freely anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Cool. Beautiful.
yeah. Yeah.
It was really cool to see you. It's for me as a coach, it's terrifying and scary, but at the same time really exciting for people to see and have the realization that everything that came before them wasn't actually really them. And like
Right.
it's terrifying for the coach because it's like, oh man, like they're gonna have these realizations and that's gonna be hard. Like when you realize, oh my God, I was living my life for another person, didn't even know it, or I was living the dream of my father or my mother and I didn't even know it. And it's so deep in our unconscious that we're not even aware. And we can think we're like, no, I'm living my life, I'm doing, but so there's seeing people go through that shift, it's a real honor. But at the same time, my like heart is like, oh man, I feel for them because
Mm-hmm.
I understand that, and it's not an easy space to move through.
Right.
Can you tell me more about how you saw your relationships shift?
Um, I well, I guess I don't know. The only relationship I feel like I can speak to, I feel like a lot of them fell away,
Yeah.
and that's okay. The ones that are still in my life, um, or that are there just because of work and things like that, there's no more it's almost like there's no more emotion attached to them. Like
Mm.
I'm just okay with who they are, and I see that they're a reflection of me. So if they're going to be mirroring back to me something that is going on inside of me. So even just being able to recognize that and not take anything personally, and I mean like really not take anything personally. Like before I would be like, oh yeah, I'm not going to take it personally, but subconsciously I was like, really? You know what I mean? So, and now it's like, it's just like, all right, cool. So it's probably in me somewhere. I'll take a look at that, figure that out. But there's no like emotional attachment to that. And even just recognizing when someone is actually projecting their stuff onto me.
Yeah.
And that right there alone is a big piece too, because being a people pleaser prior to this, that's all I ever allowed. Like I just allowed people to just, project onto me anything that they wanted, however they were feeling. And I just used to take responsibility for all of that. And that's the other piece to it. Not taking responsibility for anybody else's stuff but my own now,
Beautiful.
which
Yeah.
is huge.
Yeah. What I see most with individuals when we go into the relational piece, once you step back into your own power in relationship, it saves so much of the emotional messiness because that's what causes it. When you don't know what's yours and what isn't yours, and there's that confusion, then you get caught up and tangled in all of these emotional or subconscious arguments or dialogues, and all of that, once you come back to yourself and in your power and relationship, all of that just disappears. When
Mm-hmm.
you know who you are in that moment, you don't get sucked in those ways that you used to. So that emotional piece that you mentioned around relationship, that's usually what I see what happens when someone comes back in their own power in relationship. They're no longer getting caught and sucked into all these different dynamics.
Right. Yeah.
Beautiful. Are you okay with me asking some more questions?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Um, what else do you what else do you think shifted in the way that you interact with the world and in the way that you view the world? Do you think anything shifted there? And if so, what was it?
Shifted in the way I interact with the world. Um, I guess I think I just enjoy the world more now. Um, like even just being outside more.
Mm,
Um, and yeah, I guess just finding like the little things. Like it's just, I've always been a little things kind of person, but I think the little things are more, what's that word I'm looking for? They're more prominent now. Like
mm,
they're just, I see them more all the time. They're not just here and there. And I
mm,
think that's because that's how I'm feeling on the inside. So that's what's creating it on the outside for me.
mm, mm.
Um, what was the other question?
Just
Relation to
yeah, how has your relationship or view of the world shifted or
the
changed?
world. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess that would be, I mean, I will say that I think big picture things, those things that I can't necessarily control, that aren't necessarily my reality, but they are in reality.
Mhm.
Um, I can remember being very, very triggered early on, especially with everything that was going on. Now, I just have realized that I get to choose what's in my reality. It doesn't mean that I'm not accepting what's going on in the big picture reality. I'm not ignoring it. It's just, I know where my limits are. I also realize that I don't have to be extreme left. I don't have to be extreme right. I don't have to be anything. And people who are speaking in those ways, I think I realize too now that when people, again, it's that projection piece, when people are projecting I see where it comes from. I see that
Mhm.
it comes from a place of fear, or it comes from a place of just, you know, more so I feel like a place of fear. um, but there's more compassion around that now for me, and not necessarily, I don't know if I was necessarily judging them before, but I think I was just having a hard time because you just, like, I just felt bombarded by so many different things, and I wasn't trying to judge anything. I was just trying to observe and use my own discernment. But now it's like I don't even need to do that. I know where it's coming from, and I can just see that
Mhm.
and then feel compassion, and I don't have to take any of it on, which
Mhm.
is really cool because then I just, yeah. So,
Yeah, you just get to live your life at that point.
right,
You don't get
right.
in all these different directions or areas. It's just like, oh no, that's yours and this is mine, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
in my space and this is fine. I'm not
Right.
moving.
Right. Yeah.
So can we talk about the work stuff a little bit?
Yeah.
We had a month there where some of the work conversation was coming into play. Um, your relationship to the individuals at work and how you show up there. What did you see shift or change there?
Um, I feel like what shifted there was just, I I don't want to say not taking risks. It's not taking on their responsibilities, but it was a lot of projection coming at me, and I don't think I ever really realized it. And
Mm,
so basically coaching them, whereas before this I thought I was giving them their power, but I really wasn't. And so now I see that by me being able to coach them, not necessarily tell them what to do, but say, give them suggestions and ways to work around it, but saying, this is what I, this is what I would do, in the
mhm,
sense, but putting the onus back on them to fix a lot of the issues that they were having, because I realized that they're creating their own issues.
mhm,
And so if I just try and fix everything for them, then it's not going to help them either. So I think by doing that, um, and explaining more things to them, almost about around how that works for them to be able to understand that, it's helped the dynamic of the whole office.
mm.
So I feel like they're working better as a team now than they have really ever in the past.
Mhm, mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, one of the things that I really saw there was you were getting sucked in because of that power dynamic. You were getting sucked into their problems, their issues,
Yes.
and then you were doing their work for them. Whereas I saw by the end of it, you were in your own power, and instead of getting sucked into what they were dealing with, you sat on your throne at work and you said, You asked the right questions. You led from a place of your power, not getting sucked into their responsibilities, and you
Right.
held people differently to a different standard. You coached when you need
Yes.
to coach, asked questions when you needed to ask questions, and you delegated responsibility to them and didn't allow them to throw their responsibilities onto you.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I have maybe two more questions, Karyn, and then we'll close up here.
Yeah.
How do you think your relationship to life as a whole shifted?
Um, what I can finally see I feel like that's I feel like I can finally see the world revolving around me.
Yeah.
Whereas like I know that sounds like not I know it's not cliche, but like I feel like people would be like, well, the world doesn't really revolve around you. But it's like because I'm in my power and I'm aware that the world does not necessarily revolve around me. But how do I want to describe that though? The feeling of just being being so comfortable inside of myself that that is then going to push out even more the more I keep getting that much more comfortable with myself. And
Mm,
so that creates that environment whereas so I'm in my power and I'm not necessarily people pleasing. So it's how do I want to describe there's a word I'm looking for and I can't think of it, but just being in my world
mm,
and
mm.
everything else. Oh, that's what it is. Just being in my world and everything else just kind of happens around me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I want to describe that. Not that the world revolves around me. It's just me being in my world and everything else happens around me. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah. Yeah. That was
Yeah.
a tip that I saw is you just don't get sucked down those corners,
Yes.
relationships, work issues that you used to before. And that's really a testament to coming back into to your own power and who you really are and staying centered within yourself.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
There's one more question that I know wants to be asked, but I just got to sit with it. The the woman that we unlocked within the last month and a half that
Mm-hmm.
coming forward, what do you see moving forward now in your life? Like what's the trajectory? What does that look like, feel like?
I guess I don't I guess I want to say don't really know, but I think she's she's happy, she's carefree, she's giddy, but she knows when she needs to do what she needs to do to get what she wants.
Mm.
Oh, I guess I feel like I see her walking on clouds instead of eggshells now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a better way to be able to describe that.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
If there's if there's anything that, well, I guess I'll just I don't think I'm gonna ask any more questions. I think that's good. We could go deeper, but I think in terms of questions, I think that's good. Um,
Okay.
what's Do you want to share anything with me, like any feedback, any just general thoughts, comments, anything at all? It's all open and it's all welcome.
I'm just extremely grateful. Honestly, I I think it was Friday. I had a moment of like, oh my gosh, this is my last call, and I just like tears started rolling down my eyes, and I was like,
Mhm.
I know I'm not extremely like it's not like I was super sad, but I was really grateful, and then I was thinking, but I am a little sad about the fact that it's my last one-on-one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's awesome. I really have not felt like I have had this much change in my life ever, really.
Mhm.
So it's like I have had people that I've worked with and I've done things with, but it's all gotten me up until this point too, right? So I do believe that obviously things you do the best you can in the moment that you're in. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just extremely grateful, honestly. I don't have any I really don't have any feedback, I guess, in the sense that like of like things you could do differently. I appreciated everything. So,
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
it's really been an honor, Karen. I mean, it's been awesome just to see the layers fall away. It's been
Yeah.
hard at time, not hard for me, but like I said, as a coach, you see the old parts of a person come off, and then you see them going through their struggle and the pain. And I'm highly empathic, so I feel
Right.
it, but I still allow it to fall away because that's what needs to happen. So I just want to say it's been a real honor and delight, and I'm really excited to see what comes after this, and especially by the time that we're done the group program, where you settle into. Because
Yeah.
when you settle into that woman that we unlocked a month and a half ago, it'll be just your life. Like no one else is, not the family life, not the conditioning from the family, not the conditioning from society. It'll just be yours. And I know when you ground into that space, a whole new level of appreciation for everything that will get even bigger. That'll expand even more. Uh,
Yeah.
so I just want to say thank you for showing up and being willing to do it, because it's messy work. It's not easy. It's the unknown. It's uncertain. It's scary. It's transformation is a process. It changes, and parts of us die and new parts of us are birthed. And so I really just want to say it's been an honor and a delight to see you go through the process, and to know that there's people in the world who are willing to do it, because it's not easy.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah, you got it. You got it.
Yeah.